Have you ever been blamed for something you didn't even remember doing, only to find out the person accusing you actually ruined things for themselves? Well, that's exactly what happened to me. A rude student tried to attack me early in the morning, shouting about a surprise quiz I apparently gave. The truth? I had completely forgotten about the quiz. Until he reminded me, in the worst possible way. And that moment, that rude, disrespectful moment, gave me the perfect idea for the sweetest revenge. If you've ever dealt with rude people who think disrespect is the same thing as confidence, hit that like button right now. And if you love stories where justice comes in the most unexpected way, make sure to subscribe. Now, let's get into this story of classroom chaos, forgotten quizzes, and one student whose own mouth destroyed him. I am an English teacher in a country where English is not the main language. I teach 8 classes, more than 200 students, and every semester I have to keep careful notes because I have ADHD. If I don't write something down, there's a good chance I'll forget it. Every morning, I walk into school with my earbuds in, mentally preparing myself for the chaos. Some of my classes are impossible, 36 students in one room, all talking, laughing, cheating, not listening. Half of my time is spent trying to control them instead of actually teaching them. At the end of every term, we have a rule. Every student must have at least 3 grades. With 200 plus students, that becomes overwhelming. Some classes behave so badly that I barely get the chance to give enough assignments or tests. So on this one morning, I'm walking up the steps of the school, breathing deeply, telling myself, okay, you can get through today. My earbuds are still in when suddenly one of my students storms up to me. No hello, no good morning, not even a polite gesture. Just this. Madam, how can you give us a quiz with such little notice? It's not fair. You can't just do that. His tone was sharp. Angry. Entitled. Like I had ruined his entire life. I blinked. I had no idea what he was talking about. But students complain all the time, so I calmly answered. It is my right to give a quiz with short notice. And if you studied, you will be fine. Inside though? I was confused. What quiz? What is he even talking about? And more importantly, why did he speak to me like I wasn't even a human being? I stand there, watching him walk away with that I showed her attitude, and something inside me tightened. Rudeness hits differently in the morning. After he left, I pulled out the notebook for his class. I read through the past few days, and then I saw it. Friday, announce small quiz next week on 10 vocabulary words. Oh. So I did plan a quiz. And I had totally forgotten. I almost laughed out loud. The student thought he was calling me out. But he had actually reminded me of something I forgot. Still, his attitude stuck with me. His tone. His disrespect. His complete lack of manners. Teachers everywhere know this feeling, when a student thinks you are the enemy, when they talk to you like you're nothing. When they forget that behind the title teacher, there is an actual human being with emotions, stress, and limits. And that morning? He crossed my limit. But I wasn't angry enough to punish him. My revenge would come naturally. Because he had reminded me of something important. And when the class came in later that day, oh, the perfect moment arrived. I sat at my desk, papers ready, the short vocabulary quiz printed and stacked. As the students filed in, they looked tired and annoyed, normal behavior, honestly. But he looked nervous. He had clearly expected me to walk in, apologize, and cancel the quiz. Maybe he imagined himself as some kind of student hero who defeated the teacher in the morning. But that wasn't going to happen. I took a deep breath and said loudly, "Good afternoon, class." They muttered their replies. Then I held up the stack of quiz papers. The room went silent. A few gasps. Some groans. A couple students dropped their heads into their hands. I could feel all of their eyes on me, but especially his. I smiled softly and said, "Before we begin, I want everyone to say thank you to student for reminding me about this quiz. I had completely forgotten." For a moment, there was dead silence. Then the class turned to look at him. Some students smirked. Some whispered. A few even said, "Bro, why did you remind her?" But I didn't stop. "Please," I said, "thank him properly." The entire class, more than 30 teenagers, all said together, "Thank you." Not loudly. Not cheerfully. Just that sarcastic, annoyed thank you that teenagers are world famous for. His face turned red. His mouth opened, but no words came out. He looked like he wanted the ground to swallow him whole. And inside? I felt a calm satisfaction. Not revenge in a cruel way, but revenge in the life teaches you manners way. The quiz began. Papers shuffled. Pens scratched quietly across desks. But the student who confronted me earlier? He sat frozen. He knew exactly what had happened. His own rudeness had caused this. He had reminded me. He had embarrassed himself. And now every student blamed him for the unexpected quiz. One girl leaned over and whispered loudly, "Nice going, genius." Another boy chuckled. "You just had to talk to the teacher, huh?" He didn't answer. He just stared at the quiz paper with a defeated expression. And this is the part that made everything feel even sweeter. He had not studied. The quiz was easy, only 10 vocabulary words. But he was sweating. His leg bounced quickly under the desk. He looked around like the answers might magically appear on the wall. They didn't. He turned in his paper last, eyes down, face embarrassed. When the class ended, he walked past my desk slowly. His voice was quieter than I had ever heard from him. "Madam, I'm sorry." And I swear, that apology felt more genuine than any forced respectful behavior I had seen all year. Revenge doesn't always need to be loud or cruel. Sometimes, the best revenge is letting someone face the consequences of their own behavior. All I did was give the quiz I had already announced. He did the rest himself. And the lesson he learned that day? Respect goes a long way, especially when you think no one notices. If you enjoyed this story of simple but perfect justice, hit that like button. Subscribe for more revenge stories that prove karma works in mysterious ways. And tell me in the comments, what's the most satisfying revenge you've ever seen? Thanks for watching, and see you in the next story.